Hello everybody and welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Today we're doing how to bet both ways on UFC Strickland vs Dricus Du Plessis, the main event, title fight, middleweight title fight. Got to be breaking down how to bet either way if you're on either side, what I would be betting if I was on either side. Tell you my pick and then I'll drop a prop as well. I have a prop bet as well. And also just talking a little bit about how the fight could go if it went either way. So let's not waste any time and get straight into it. So Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du... Oh shit. Wrong image. Let me fix that real quick. Okay. Fixed. So Dricus Du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. It's a good matchup. It could go two different ways in my opinion. I can only really see two different ways. Obviously it can go other ways, but there's two that stand out to me. And that's Strickland via late finish or points, and then there's Dricus Du Plessis early finish, either KO or sub. They're the two ways I see this fight going. I don't see Strickland finishing Dricus early, just like I don't see Dricus winning by points. I don't see him winning by points in this fight. I think what we're going to see here is a lot of Strickland on the outside, box and pressure, but I think there's going to be a few rounds, probably the first two rounds, where Dricus just will push him back. I think Dricus's power will be something that, you know, will make Sean Strickland move back while Dricus is pressing. And I think that's going to be a threat, and I think that's going to make Strickland a little bit less active, and I honestly do think he might drop. I think he drops the first round, second round he might drop it, but then I think he does start to take over from there if the fight does go that long. Breaking down the tail of the tape. So I got Sean Strickland 28-5, Dricus Du Plessis 20-2. Average fight time, Strickland 14 minutes 43 seconds. He's more of a, you know, across 3 rounds, he's more getting a decision often than Dricus is. And Dricus is 9-11. Sus? They're both 6'1", same reach. So same height, same reach. Dricus is a switch. He does switch, not in bed, but in the octagon. He switches his stance a lot. So that could throw Strickland off, but Strickland's had a lot of looks from different switching opponents. So could throw him off in a moment. You know, Dricus quickly switches and throws a shot that Strickland doesn't quite see coming. Could throw him off, but we're going to see how that goes. Strikes landed per minute higher for Dricus, which is actually a surprise. I thought it would be Sean, but you know, they're both throwing a lot of strikes, as it says there. Striking accuracy higher for Dricus. That's because Sean throws a lot of pot shots, you know, at your guard to get you to cover up and shit like that. Strikes absorbed per minute higher for Strickland, lower for Dricus. Defense higher for Strickland and lower for Dricus. So in the striking range, I don't know if these stats are going to show much of a tail in this fight. Like I don't see Dricus throwing more than Strickland, and I don't see Strickland absorbing more strikes than Dricus, but I do think when Dricus does hit, it's going to be much more impactful than, you know, Strickland's little pot shots. The defense, I can definitely see that, you know, 63-53. Strickland does have a better defense, but Dricus has that cannon. He has that fucking cannon, so you need to look out. So now we go down to the grappling stats. You know, you got takedown average 0.92 for Strickland. He doesn't shoot many takedowns, but unpopular opinion, I could see him shooting a takedown here. I could see him trying to mix it up a bit, but we will see. And then we got Dricus Du Plessis, 2.72. He shoots takedowns. He likes to mix it up, and seeing him get Whittaker down makes me think perhaps he can get Strickland down. You never know. Takedown defense, really good for Strickland at 84%. So it's going to be hard to get him down, but if Dricus uses his raw strength, there's two sides to it. He could get him down and expel a lot of energy and not do anything with it, or he could get him down and hold him there and dominate. You know, you never know how this fight's going to go, because we honestly haven't seen Strickland off his back in a long time, so it's hard to tell. It is really hard to tell. And then submission average 1.1. Dricus has great submissions, so does Strickland, but he rarely goes for him. Yeah, there's a tail of the tape. I don't think a lot of these stats are really going to show in the fight. I think we're going to see something different than these stats in the fight, but they're still good to know. Let's move into how to bet both ways on this fight. So starting with Strickland, breaking down more of what I think will happen in this fight is, if you're on the side of Strickland, there's a few ways he could win, right? And I really like this prop bet, because this is the definition of how I think Strickland's going to win. So Strickland to win in round 4, 5, or by points. I mentioned it in my picks show, which If you haven't watched that yet, go check it out. I show all my picks for the card, but I see Strickland getting that snowball effect. You know, he's rolling down the hill, getting bigger and bigger, growing more momentum. That's what I see happening. I really think he's going to grow more momentum as the fight goes on, if he can survive those earlier rounds. So I think the Strickland to win in round 4, 5, or points at 3.10 is great odds, because you know, maybe he does get a submission, or maybe he does get an early finish, but when you really think of the chances of that, they're very unlikely. And when you have this 3.10, that's like betting on a big underdog. So you turn a favourite into his most likely way to win, and you get 3.10. I like that. I'm probably going to throw a little bit on it. Obviously, don't go ham with it. If you really believe in Strickland, I'd just play the money line. That's why I've got it up there. That's just in case he does get an early finish. You know, Dricus might gas out in the third round after just Sean Strickland's pressure, and he could just TKO him there. You never know. And then this bet doesn't crash, but doesn't hit, and it crashes. But I think Sean Strickland to win by 4-5 or by points is very likely. If he wins, that's the way he's going to win. Or Strickland moneyline is another good bet. And obviously, if you think he's going to win by KO, there's those bets out there too. But these are my favourites, and this is how I would bet on this matchup if I am. And maybe I am using these bets. Next up, Dricus Du Plessis. I've added 3 here because I think there's a few good bets for him depending what risk you want to take. So Du Plessis by KO or TKO or sub. So this is the way I see Dricus winning. I find it so hard to believe the winning by points. I see maybe he does snatch up the first 3 rounds and Strickland can't quite do enough, but I think it's much more likely he wins by KO, TKO or sub. I really wish this line was a bit higher than 2.35, but it's not terrible odds. Because if I see Dricus winning right, I'm kind of seeing come out, pressure, hits him with some good shots, wobbles him, and I just see a finish like that, like similar to the Whittaker fight. I see it sort of similar to the Whittaker fight if Dricus is going to win. I think he lands the shot while, you know, Strickland is evading, or maybe he takes him down and just lands some elbows earlier in the round, but like he did to Whittaker, but earlier in the round. I see him winning early if he does win, and that brings you on to the next bet of by KO, TKO in round 1 or 2. 4.40. I think this is good if you just got a Strickland Du Plessis money line, and you want to add a little fun bet to the side by first round or round 2 KO. I think that's a good little bet to just throw on there. I wouldn't throw all my money on that, but you know, if you're on the side of Dricus and you have a money line bet and you're like, oh, what else could I throw down on just to make some extra buck if he wins? I think this bet is great. Obviously, it eliminates the submission, which is a little bit worrying, but I can see him TKOing him. I don't really see him getting a sub in this fight. I think TKO is a lot more likely, just because it's due to Strickland's good jiu-jitsu defense. And then lastly, I got moneyline. You know, if you're not sure if he's going to win, maybe you believe he could win by points. Obviously, that's the best way to go if you're playing it safe. 2.10. I mean, you're not getting much difference. You're not getting much more by going TK or sub. So if you think you could win by points, money lines are safer. But if you're on the same side of me and believe there's no way he's winning by points, I'd go the TK or sub. So that's how I'd bet on Dricus. Next, moving on to the final just prop bet. Now, I wanted to throw a few in here, but I could only really think of one, and that is fight will go the distance. And of course, this is only if you're on the side of Strickland. I wouldn't put this on if you're on the side of Dricus. I'd maybe put it on the opposite, but I've just put this one here because the odds for if you're a Strickland backer and the odds for if it's to go Strickland's way, how the fight will finish, this is good odds. Fight will go the distance, so that's the reason I threw that in there. Don't play it if you're on Dricus. Maybe play it if you're on Strickland. It's not a bad bet. And to finally just break down my pick, I went into more detail on my quick picks. It'll be linked. I'll play it at the end screen. But ultimately, my pick, don't let it sway you because I don't know shit about picking. You know, I'm just going off what I think. But I think Strickland's going to get the dub here. And again, I see him doing it by 4, 5 or points. I'm going to throw that down, and I've already threw a money line down. So I got Strickland. I just think he's going to get that snowball effect, as I said. I think he might even get a little bit hurt. There's going to be scary moments in the first or second round, but I think he's going to survive. I think he's going to get taken down a few times, but get back to his feet. And I could just see him picking and poking, similar to how he did to Izzy, but I can see him being a little bit more brutal this fight, especially as Dricus starts to gas. If he does gas, I think body shots would be great for Strickland here, and I just think pressure. I think he's going to drown Dricus in a way we haven't seen before after the first 2 rounds. First 2 rounds, dangerous waters. Once we get past that, I think he's in Strickland's realm. 5-round fight, Strickland's pressure, Strickland doesn't gas. I think he drowns Dricus, but Dricus has the nuclear option. He could finish him in the first 2 rounds for sure. So that's my picks, just to summarise. Strickland moneyline, Strickland to win by around 4, 5 or points. Dricus by KO or sub, Dricus by KO, TKO in round 1 or 2, or Dricus by moneyline. And then if you're on the side of Strickland, a good prop bet, his fight will go the distance. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, have a good one. Be sure to check out my other videos, and then again, have a good one.
Give me 5 minutes, I'ma pull up with like 5 niggas. Give me 5 minutes, girl, I'ma be right with you.